Our top 50 to keep his tournament going needs 11 pounds 6 ounces, 11 pounds 4 ounces.
Hey folks, Randy Howell here with the wrap up for Lake Oahe, South Dakota. First time out here to South Dakota. We were on back-to-back events from La Crosse to here. Long drive. We had a day of travel to get out here, so we started a day later this week. The fourth largest lake in the country, Lake Oahe. Most people have never even heard of it. I hadn't until it was on our schedule. Heard it was great smallmouth fishing. Got out here. We hit really bad weather conditions again. It's like the weather follows the Bassmaster Elite series everywhere. Flooding, storms, wind. We were in tornado shelters twice this week here at the campground and the lodge. Just crazy weather. Water came up about 2 feet. And the challenge here is going to a lake you've never been that's massive and covering the right amount of water in 3 practice days to find fish. And smallmouth bite easily when you find them, but it's getting in the right area. Well, thankfully, Lawrence had a C-map card that was really good for here, and that helped us see the contours and parts of the lake. But this lake has the same look everywhere, 280 miles long. It looks the same everywhere. And it turned out to be a very regionalized tournament. All the top competitors and most of the weight is coming, 30 to 50 miles away. And I didn't go far enough, and I found that out yesterday on the second day of the tournament. First day, limit weighed 6.5 pounds in 97th place. Second day, I go back out, go far away, start practicing new water again. I find and catch, 11.4, caught a 4.5 pounder, which I got a cool video of thanks to my marshal.
Wow. Oh my God.
Saved my day and had a good ending and moved up and gained 40 points, but still fell short of the cut 2 weeks in a row. 56th place, missed it by 9 ounces. So disappointing, but got the points to keep me kind of par still going into the last 2 events. But this week, that was the challenge: weather, size of the lake, and I only had 2 techniques that worked well for me: the Livingston jerkbait and the Yamamoto Senko. I'm going to tell you about those 2, and that'll work anywhere you go for smallmouth in the summertime.
Look at that.
That's what you come to South Dakota to catch a big one. Livingston, baby, right there. Well, the first technique I like to fish anytime I go north or west and there's a smallmouth lake and it's a clear water lake like Lake Oahe here is throw a jerkbait. A jerkbait is probably the #1 search bait for finding and catching smallmouth bass, and especially in clear water. So that's all you need to know. If you can learn how to fish a jerkbait effectively, you can go to any of these smallmouth places and catch a lot of fish. So the first practice day and all my practice days, we had clear water, sunny skies, and the water, stayed nice. So anytime it's like that, you can just cover a lot of water with a jerkbait. As the water rose, I had to change from the shallower Livingston 121C to cherry picker, and I go to the deeper, the 121D with the deeper lip here. I don't use this one a whole lot because most of the time I'm fishing that 0 to 4 foot range with rocks and stuff. This time those rocks ended up being 6 to 8 feet deep, and this deeper bait was a little bit better. And this is the Beauty Shad color. I always like a natural color or table rock shad bright color if you have a little stain in the water. So I throw that on my normal 7-foot medium light jerkbait, shallow cranking rod, the Tatula Elite rod, and throwing it on the Tatula 100, the new 100 with a 10-pound Gamma fluorocarbon line, and you can cover a lot of water with it. Caught a lot of fish on this, but as the tournament progressed, it got muddy from all the wind and the rain, and the jerkbait bait kind of died, and I had to go to the bottom and start casting the drop shot with the Wacky Senko. A lot of times I'll use the Yamamoto shad-shaped worm, and I nose hook it, and that's kind of the best drop bait for deep water. But this week, they weren't as deep for me. They were, anywhere from 8 feet to maybe 14 feet for me, and a lot of guys are catching them deeper than that. I never was able to find those deeper ones, but the drop shot, casting it around with a little tungsten 3/8 ounce weight, a 10-pound Gamma fluorocarbon leader with my 15-pound Daiwa Samurai braid as my main line, casting it around on my Daiwa 7.3 medium action drop shot rod. It's a Tatula Elite drop shot rod, has the perfect tip for it. and I can cast it well or I can drop it. It's the perfect setup for doing either or. And I like a little bit longer leader when I'm wacky styling. The fish were a little finicky sometimes because the water got cloudy from the rain and the rising water. But wacky Cinco, more smallmouth will bite that. And I like a 1/0 hook, not a real little hook. That's the problem. Some people lose a lot of fish on the drop shot because they use too small a hook, I believe. I used a 1/0 drop shot hook, and that wacky bait wiggles and they can't resist it. If you get this around a smallmouth, they will bite it. And I like anything in the green pumpkin family. This is green pumpkin, purple green flake, and it's always good anywhere you go. So take the drop shot, cast it around rocky areas, look on your graph on your Lowrance. If you see them, I caught a lot of fish dropping. I even caught some dropping it down just 8 or 9 feet deep on my graph. I'd see them come up. They hear the hydro wave. I have it turned up loud, that hydro wave sound, and it draws fish to the boat as you're crossing those rocky flats. And I think they rise and look, and if you can drop that bait on them quick and wiggle it, they'll bite that Cinco every time. So remember, drop shot, wacky Cinco, deadly combination for smallmouth bass.